Hello and welcome to week 4 of February 2024 Coffee and Card with me, Linda, from lindaspapercraft.co.uk, and we're still using the Be My Valentine, and even though it's February we still have another week. You have a bonus card this month, so but this one I'm changing it up and I'm using a more subtle wing, so I'm actually using Smoky Slate to do the wings, but you could use grey granite, any grey ink you've got, even the Mento Black stamped off and then stamped is a lovely grey as well, and it will give you this subtle effect. And I've also used a die from Around the Bend, which, excuse me, I didn't get it out, which is this set. Here, my wiring shot. Very much what you see is what you get with my videos. Right, okay, so this is Around the Bend, and the dies have got this little die. Just looking at the dies, this one. And so what I did on the first one was I just positioned the die when I wanted it, and then I thought, most of you haven't got this die. So what I did was I cut out my piece of lemon lime twist, possibly. Anyway, green. And I actually attached the die to it and then lined it up on the piece I was cutting and ran it through, so it just cut 6 identical, or however many you need, identical pieces with this border on here, so because I thought the bees fit nicely on that size and I didn't want them all to be different. So that's my tip for today for those of you making more than one of anything. But it's a really cute little stamp set, and also, you know, I mix and match. I don't only use stuff from one stamp set to make a card, or just one die set to make a card. Mix and match. You've got this stuff, use it. Right. Okay, so here we go. So You're as Sweet as Honey, and I thought this would be a lovely little birthday card for a little girl, and it's got our little bees on as well. So we'll get going. Right. So loads of little bits this week. In your little paper bag. Oh. Envelope doesn't want to come out. There we go. Right, so you've got an envelope and you've got a black card base. Give a little bit of contrast. Some little, these are the iridescent rhinestones. I don't know if you can tell, they're clear. So whatever you put them on, they'll carry that colour. Okay, so you can see the lemon lime twist is coming through those rhinestones, as well as, and they're an AB glitter as well, so they're Aurora Borealis, so lots of different colours in there. That's what the AB stands for. Right, okay, so you've got your card blank, your piece that I've die cut just the same as mine, a piece for the inside, and then a piece of Designer Series paper. Now, this Designer Series paper has just been added into the Celebration offer, and it's a massive pack of paper, and you only need to spend £45 to get it free, and it's just so versatile. Some of them are black and white on one side and coloured on the others. Some of them are coloured on both sides, a massive range of colours, and twice the size of our normal pack of paper, and it's free when you spend £45, which is amazing. So I've also put you in, so 2 pieces for making your bees, so they're the smaller ones, and then a larger piece for your sentiment, because I thought then you can use whatever sentiment you want and cut it down to size. So I'll do my bees first. So let's get all this out of the way. Right, so I've got about 2 pieces for my bees, and for my bees I need to stamp a body. So, and we're sticking with the Daffodil Delight, which, panic then, I have already got it out. So, and don't forget, we're leaving enough space on the right for your sting, but on the left for your wings and your antenna. So, one body, oops, think I'm going to leave that. That's just because I rushed, didn't give the ink time to get down. There we go, see, a little harder that time. That was more of a and you see how much better the image is when you give it a few seconds. Once I've got the stripes on and that, we've just probably got a very small little white blob on RB. So, and now we're going to do the black. And for this, I'm going to do the body and then the wings. So, just lining that up as best. Oh, I'm impressed with that one. There we go, and then lining this one up. Not as good. Oh, yeah. There you go. It is better if you can get completely over it and then you can really see where you're lining it up. And I tend to do yellow then black because of our opacity of inks, but one of my comments on one of the earlier videos was saying somebody prefers to do it the other way because then you get a softer black and perhaps that looks a little bit more natural. Worth a go. I wasn't so keen, but it's worth a play, definitely. And then we have, now our bees are going to be this way this time, so I'm just going to turn them that way to do the faces. So, but I always think with these things, you know, this is what I use to practice on my grid paper, and so you could have a play with your grid paper and see which you do prefer, whether you prefer yellow then black or black then yellow. And there we go, our two little bees. And then pop these away and get out my basic grey. Basic grey. Smoky slate. Again, basic grey would work. I'm just checking I've got the right one there. And I'm going to juggle my stamps. And then I'm going to put my little wings in the corner. And again, like I've been doing all along, I'm just mimicking the angle that they're at. Okay. On the punch. Right. And I'll do the antennae after I've punched everything out because I can do them on whatever bit's left because I've given you more than enough. So let's start doing it. And you can do this in any order you want. Still got petal pink from last week. I do all these on one day. Right, so there, bee number 1. And wings. And those among you who are more observant will realise that I need to do another wing. Right. So I'm just going to pop that in there. Again, just copying the direction. I'm going to do the other one before I bunch. Hopefully that's not too close to the edge. So we need 4 wings for this card because we've got bees facing us. Let's punch that one out. Just going to trim that up. She says, scissors, scissors. Just because the little bits are getting stuck in the punch. There we go, that's better. So that's 2. And then on that piece I've got room for and one of the little antennae. And then punching out our second bee. Just a smidge that way. There we go. And then a wing. Let's just chop these bits off again so they're not getting stuck. Go. Okay, and then let's get these antennae stamped as well. So if you find you don't have any bits left, I'm afraid you are going to have to go and hunt through your stash. Obviously I didn't calculate for enough wings when I was I've got enough bits there, so you probably will have enough where's the other bee? Anyway, have enough. So you probably will have enough actually to do all your antennae. So, okay, punch, punch, punch. So this one is sort of that way. So the antennae are pointing out towards the corner. So pop that one on there. And put that one on there. Let's get these punched out as well. Fortunately, we only need 2 of these. Also, as you know, we're going to be chopping bits off this anyway, off the sentiment piece. So if you don't have enough with what I've sent you, then you can always do it after you've done your sentiment, so that you can use your cut-offs from that. Right, yeah, I've done it the wrong way anyway. Does it do as I say and not as I do? See, if you're someone who has to use up every little bit of card, this is probably good for you. I'm sort of halfway. I have a good source or a good recipient for my offcuts. I give them to my local nursery where my granddaughter used to go, and my children used to go actually. And they love it because they just give the kids massive amounts of paper to play with, and all my offcuts and stuff, and they don't have to pay for it. So they don't mind if the children just rip one corner off and throw the rest away, because they haven't paid for it, and then I feel good because I'm giving children the opportunity to do unstructured art, which is always good. Right, so I'm just positioning that there. Yep, perfect. Okay, let's get rid of all the little bits that were left. So we've got 4 sets of wings and 2 sets of antennae out of those bits of paper, so we're fine. As I say, we've all got stacks of scraps of basic white that you can go and raid if they don't quite fit. Okay, right, and I shall try and do better. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I am going to do my sentiment. So I'm sticking with You're as Sweet as Honey, and I'm going to do it towards the edge here, and I'm going to do it in line with my paper, and then just trim off a big piece. I've left you a big piece so you can use any sentiment you want. Some stray, and then cut it down to size. So there we go. piece as straight as I can. There you go, and I'm putting it towards that left hand side. There we go. I think I've put it even closer to the bottom than the last one. Like it's even narrower than the last piece. Right. So, and then I'm just going to pop that into my trimmer and cut it to size. Just going to line it up with, it needs to be a little bit wider. Yeah, so I can see where it's going to cut there, so it's slightly above the T and the H. And that's the score line. So there we go, so I've got a nice slim piece with the sentiment on. And then I am going to use, unfortunately this has retired, it is a banner punch. We've had a few banner punches over the years, so you know, if you've got one, dig it out. I'm never happy if I hand cut these edges. If you are happy hand cutting them, then hand cut them. We did use this in a summer stamper stack. Oh gosh, can't remember when, quite a while ago. So some of you will have this. And I'm just using it on the left side. On the fishtail side. Yep, I'm doing it right. At the your end. So at the beginning of the sentiment. There we go. So that just gives me a nice... You can also use the corner of a square punch. Or you can do it by hand. So, and then what I'll do, once I've decided where I want it, I will trim off that end. In fact, I think I'm actually just going to trim it off just beyond the honey, because that's where it's going to have to be for this sentiment. Okay, so again, here's my cutting line. So I'm just going to sort of line that up with the outside of the cutting track. And I bet you couldn't see that. So I just lined up the bottom of the Y with the outside of the cutting track and then cut it. So I've got it just where I want it. Okay. To be honest, the main reason I work on grid paper is it shows me where the camera's looking. So, right. Okay, let's build these bees. I've got my glue. So I'm just going to pop some glue. Let's take the halo off. Right. I'm just popping these out the side. Just hold them a couple of seconds. There we go. And then another one on the other side. There we go. And the third one. Just I'll wiggly these today. Very wiggly. And the fourth one on the other side. Just roughly line them up with each other. There we go. I'm going to pop the antenna on, and then I'm going to pop them to one side while I build the rest of the card. So there's a chance to dry. Oh. Do we want wonky antennae? I don't think I do. There we go. There we go. That's 2 bees. Oh, not 2 bees, that is the question. So, take your DSP and your green card. Oh, that's got a little extra bit cut off. I think that's bizarre. Right. Probably from the way I've cut it out by repeatedly using the die. Right, and then that is just going to go on top of your designer series paper. Should be the same size. And then we're sticking that on the front of the card. So as I was saying about the designer series paper, and it has dropped into the celebration, as this goes out, only has a week to go. So if this video is more than a week old, then unfortunately celebration will have finished, because it finishes on the last day of February, which is the 29th, which is next Thursday, as this video is going out. Okay, and then I'm going to glue the piece on the inside. Turning it over again. Why do I turn over blank pieces of card to put glue on? Okay. There we go. And then let's just position everything. So, and the sentiment and the bees are on dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting the sentiment. I think I'm going to use some little ones, which I know I've got, because I went quite thin this time. I think a bigger one would fit, but I know the little ones will. Okay, so, and this is sort of the anchor point for the card. So, I'm going to line it up with the designer series paper and put it as straight as I can. There we go. And then now I can add the bees and everything. If you really wanted to as well, you could, before you put it together, stamp the little, you know, the little trail. You could put that on as well, so that could go, which would look quite good actually. I've only just thought of that, and it's a bit late now. Look at this, I've still got the post-it note on the back of my... do you know, I'm going to leave it. I think it's going to be too much hassle to take it off. So, and if someone's looking at that close to your cards that they can see the post-it note behind the antennae, they're really inspecting them. Okay. Okay, there we go. And then pop the other one on. Also with a post-it note on the back of the antenna. And just sort of putting a dimensional over the join. It just helps it stick a bit more. And then we just need to add your diamantes wherever you want them. So, come on, you can do it. Well stuck, this one. And, I'm just going to scatter them across the card, sort of top, middle and bottom. Or bottom, middle and top. There we go. That's the last one. So you can see the green coming through this diamante, which is why at first I wasn't so keen, but then when I realised they were clear, I was like, oh whoa, because I do like my basic rhinestone, but I love this because you've got the much more subtle sparkle. There you go. So that is the end of week 4. So just one more week to go of this coffee and card. So if you want any more details, just give me a shout, and I shall see you all next week. Bye.